am more found in my foundation of my faith than I've ever been in my life. Same people, January 1st, 2022, were saying the same thing. That's the same list of people, but we have been able to ignore their commentary and say that their noise is not going to get in the way of the numbers, and the numbers show we have moved this city forward.
I wonder if, number one, you could react to the fact that they arrested him today in a straw donor charges and others. And secondly, given the fact that there are 10 people who have left your administration, you filled some of the positions, but how will you fill all of them, and how will you convince the governor and others that you can actually run the city during this time of crisis?
First, if you look at it, we are doing it. We need to be clear on that. We're doing just that. Just look at the numbers, and that's what we must do. Let's analyze how effective has the team. How have they been over the last 10 months, 11 months? You are seeing this city move forward. I just announced the decrease in crime. We announced last week what we're doing around our watershed. You're seeing the continuation of great initiatives moving forward, and we're continuing to do the challenging job, and that's what we're supposed to do, and we're doing that because I have an awesome team. I can't get away from the fact this team is amazing, and we're going.
Arrogance and stupidity all in the same package. How efficient of you.
For some time now, we have been discussing what's been going on in New York City at City Hall, the Titanic sinking, Rome is burning as Nero is standing on top of City Hall playing his fiddle. And, when you look at this particular front magazine cover from the New York, you see the amount of people that have either been raided, resigned, fired, indicted. And the thing about it is, there's more to this. There are more that are resigning. Another one has been terminated. Another has been indicted just now recently. And this continues on. And Mayor Adams, where is his stance at this point? His stance is everything is okay. Everything is not a problem. All these people, it's just a coincidence that these people are leaving, and that basically, this whole situation with the indictment and all that, it's a nothing burger. But, a famous tailor said once about coincidence.
I believe in coincidences. Coincidences happen every day. But I don't trust coincidences.
And that's correct. You don't trust coincidences. Because this is a situation where you have a lot going on. And I'll tell you straight out, innocent until proven guilty. I'm going to tell you straight out on that. You might get mad about it. But hey, listen, everyone has their day in court. But hear me out on this before we really get into this. If he is innocent, it's proven this, and everyone else is guilty to what they've done, then he should still step down for the reason is he hired all these people. He put these people in place. He allowed them to be in his, let's say City Hall, in his home, and allowed to do the criminal elements that they did, the crimes that they did. It's like if you have a couple of roommates that just moved in, and basically they started stealing, selling drugs and stuff like that, and it was technically around you, and there were all the signs around you, but you did nothing about it. You didn't tell them, "Hey, pack up and leave. We can't. Don't. It's a situation." You didn't fire. You didn't say, "Hey, listen, call the cops." It's a situation. You didn't do any of that. It makes you as guilty as they are, even if it's not in front of you and you've been told about it by them that they're doing it. It's guilt by association. Because you knew of the crime, but you didn't report it. That's kind of draws you into that. Now, as far as charges wise, that's up to a DA in a court. As far as what they can deal with you with that. But in this case alone, you have situations where this is continuing on. Just now, recently, over the weekend, you had more people step away from this administration. Philip Banks has stepped away, who's part of the bank situation on there, and he said, "Oh, no, this is, we've been talking about this since last year." But the feds have taken his phone and his brother's phones as well. And remember, David, his other brother, who used to be the chancellor of schools, who is married to Sheena Wright, had their phones as well taken. And now, depending on who you talk to, the deputy mayor, Sheena Wright, has resigned, and that's as of Tuesday. Over the weekend, the mayor and other people said, "No, this is not happening. She's staying with me." This is the same thing they said. They're staying with me. No, she wasn't shown the door, because they're saying that they showed her the door to the situation. But here's the thing that gets me onto this situation. Okay, sure. You didn't think you knew that she was leaving. But then again, why have you already replaced her? Because most of the other staff you haven't really replaced that fast. But just in the time period within the last 2-3 days from the point when we started to hear this, and it's from over the weekend into as far as Tuesday, today is Wednesday or Thursday, depending on when you watch this video or when we put this up, you've already replaced her with Maria Torres Springer. Yeah, that's right. She's already been replaced. And you knew something was up. And I'll tell you this. You knew something was up when a Post reporter and his or her, I think it was her, camera person was out trying to get a response from her, and this particular thing happened.
No message, no comment.
Whoa, what are you doing?
Excuse me.
What are you doing?
Excuse me.
I'm on a public sidewalk.
Yeah, but this is my privacy. Thank you.
On a private.
It's too much.
Wanted to get a comment.
Yeah, I mean, you're a public figure. We just wanted to.
No, but it's harassing. It's harassing when you're following me down the street. Could you just please?
I'm on a public sidewalk. I have a press pass.
That's great. I'm glad.
Well, I mean, if, we could just have a statement.
I know you're trying to do your job. I'm not going to give you a statement.
Okay.
Right? I'm minding my business here. Is that okay?
Yes.
It's very aggressive, and it just feels unnecessary. I'm not going to give you a statement.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, she looked really pissed at that point for questions being asked. So something really must have happened, because as someone who's a politician who's in City Hall, you shouldn't act that way. You shouldn't act thuggish as she did. And notice she didn't have any security with her. She didn't have any security at all with her. She was just walking up and down the neighborhood. And, you shouldn't attack the cameraman the way you did, because, they could charge you with that, because you charged him. I know he didn't get hurt or anything like that, but, you lunged at him to that situation. That tells me poor hiring as far as Adams again. He's hiring all these people to the situation, but yet this is what it puts down. Then, of course, we had the situation, and I got to put this, Ingrid Lewis Martin, which I always say, God, does this woman do not get enough coffee in her? Because she's always sipping a little saucer of coffee into the situation there, that she has that cup in her hand, and she's always shaking her head, during Mayor Adams' speeches. Now, she had her phones taken when she returned back from Japan at the airport. She was really upset, and she went on a radio podcast or radio broadcast. And this is one thing that she said that basically hits the nail on the button of the guilt of this administration. And she said, "We're human beings. We're imperfect, but we are not thieves," she said. "And I do not believe that in the end, the New York City public will see that we have done anything illegal to the magnitude or scale that requires federal government and the DA's office to investigate us." I'll read that again. "And I do not believe that in the end, the New York City public will see that we have not done anything illegal to the magnitude or scale that requires the federal government and the DA's office to investigate us." See, you always got to be careful what you say, because basically, to me, that's saying, well, we did things, but they're not illegal. They're legal. We're allowed to do it. But the thing about it is, when you look into the other perspective of the law itself, because this is what happens with the arrogance and stupidity of the situation, is that you may think it's legal, but according to the law, it's not. This is why the feds are looking at you, because you've done a lot of stuff that you shouldn't have done. And then you also had Timothy Pearson, who's also left the situation to that point. And now this week, also on top of Miss Wright leaving office and Mr. Banks, we also have Winnie Greco, the mayor's liaison to Chinese American community, who has now resigned also. She was already taking time off after the raid in her home, which I've said there is a Chinese connection to this. And, they're still investigating her. And I think it's a separate investigation as well. And it could be also straw donors as far as that. And then there's Rana Abbasova, I'm sorry if I screwed that up, the mayor's director of protocol for international affairs, and served to the liaison of the Turkish community, who has been cooperating with the federal investigator. She's been fired. They've been fired to this point. And I guess it's because of that. Because Abbasov has gone to the federal authority, or the federal authorities have flipped this person. And the other one, and this is the one we're going to bring up also very heavily, is a gentleman by Mohan Bahi. He has resigned, but there's another reason why he resigned. And this is off the New York Post. Ex-City Hall official Mohan Bahi charged with witness tampering and destruction of evidence in the New York City Mayor's Adams case. This is one of the other charges that's going to be coming. The former top official in the Erickson administration tampered with witnesses and potentially destroyed evidence in the corruption case against the mayor. Prosecutors claimed in a bombshell complaint Tuesday, Mohan Bahim, who was arrested Tuesday morning, is the first City Hall official to be publicly charged with crimes after Adams' own indictment. An unsealed complaint against Bahi, which charged him with witness tampering and the destruction of evidence, contends he told a businessman to lie to federal investigators about allegedly setting up illegal straw donors for Adams' 2021 mayoral election. Bahi told the businessman that Adams, identified as official number one, believed that the witness would not cooperate with law enforcement, the complaint claims. The court papers also contend Bahi deleted a message app off his phone before the feds served a search warrant at his home in July, the court papers state. The complaint comes a day after city officials said Bahid, who served as the mayor's liaison to the Muslim community, had resigned. Bahid is among a torrent of high-profile exits from City Hall after the mayor's indictment, as well as apparently separate federal probes against top official. Again, is this coincidence?
Coincidences happen every day. But I don't trust coincidences.
Yeah, I don't believe in coincidences. I really, truly don't. Because basically, you can call, you could call it as much as, coincidences do happen, but I don't believe in them as well. Because you have these situations, and I said this once on this video, or multiple times, if you ever want to put it. Yeah, he could be innocent until proven guilty as far as Adams. But there's a lot of issues here. There's a lot of issues. And the thing about it is, this is expanding forward. Now, if Adams does step down, who replaces him? Jumaane Williams. Now, here's the other situation. There's rumors that the feds are looking at Jumaane Williams as well. Because supposedly he's taken straw donations, which one of them violates the law on how much you could take in. Because supposedly he took in a $5,000 donation, which that is against federal law on basically how you collect donations for an election. If he took in $5,000, that's way over the mark of what you can take. Now, will he end up the same way as Adams? It's hard to say on that. Like I said, nothing has come forward. Innocent until proven guilty as far as Jumaane Williams. But the thing about it is, it may not look good for him if this is the truth, because this, from what that they're saying, is that one of the people, and this is where I believe not Ukraine, but another Uzbekistan, where that comes into the situation, that the businessman number 2, I think that's what it says on the Adams indictment, that basically that same person gave money to the Williams campaign as well, which especially the one where I believe he ran for governor, and that failed. So that I guess they're looking into, and we'll probably hear something about that probably either in the next couple of days, next couple of weeks. It depends on how this ends up. Now, we know the feds are going to expand the charges. When is that going to happen? I think with this Mohammed Bahid arrest, I think it's going to be coming, I would say, within the next 2 weeks, possibly. Maybe sooner. Could come sooner. And as I'm going to say that basically we're going to get to the point. I think Adams will be out of here before Thanksgiving. I'm going to give that prediction, at least before Thanksgiving. If he ends up to the end of the year with this, it's going to cause chaos in the city hall. How many other players in this administration is going to leave this, or are going to be indicted, or they're going to, resign or get terminated? Hard to say at this point. We haven't gone into the sanitation, because I said there's a lot of questions on the sanitation end. Ms. Tish, I have questions on her end on this garbage can situation. That basically they're forcing people to buy these garbage cans, which basically they didn't have to. These garbage cans exist by multiple companies, and people could have gone and probably gotten cheaper. So it was somebody's handout when they got the contract to this, because that's what's happening here as far as the Adams administration is. Can we trust them with the city contracts, all the city contracts? Because most of his administration, especially like the banks that they're being looked into, is for contracts to the situation. And then you have the other half, which is the Cabans, looking at the nightlife and the NYPD on how they handle the situations with the bars, restaurants, and the nightclub business. So you see what we're looking at overall. And the thing about it is, look where we're at as far as New York right now. We are having major issues as far as how the crime, the migrant situation, This is including into the FEMA situation. Know that money was funneled to the illegal migrants here in New York. And all the crime rate, Tren de Agua, Roosevelt Avenue, all that we've been discussing here. City Hall has failed you. And I say, remember who you vote for in the next election. And I'm talking about the small elections like this mayor of New York. Think about that for a minute. And comment. Comment below. Let me know your thoughts about this. Don't forget to hit that like. Share this video. And hopefully today's the day I've earned your subscription. Of the thousands of videos you picked ours. We really do appreciate that. So until next time, thank you for tuning in, and so long.